Hello, and welcome to What Nobody Told Me After 65. Today I want to talk to you about employment and the senior community. There is a website for South Carolinians from the Department of Aging, and when you click on their link, it takes you to a page called Senior Community Service Employment Program, or SCSEP. It's a community service and work based job training program for older Americans, job training. And it's pretty much designed to help people who have been displaced or who were in jobs where they weren't making much money, and they retrain you or get you a new skill. You can participate if you're at least 55, unemployed, and have a family income of no more than 125% of the federal poverty level. Remember that? Enrollment priority is given to veterans and qualified spouses of veterans. Next, it goes to the qualification criteria goes to individuals who are over 65 and have a disability, and who have low literacy skills or limited English proficiency, that they reside in a rural area or they're homeless or at risk of homelessness, have low employment prospects, or have failed to find employment even after using services from this SC work system. When I went to the original website, South Carolina and my former home in Delaware, they weren't listed. And the link says if it's not listed, for you to call them. I would suggest going on their website and just looking around and seeing what might be available. Also, AARP has a job board where they post positions for companies that they partner with. And I believe if you're a member, it's free. You might want to check also at the U.S. Department of Labor. I went to the website. Information was a little sketchy, but they did say this. Approximately 11 million older workers are in the job market right now. That equates to roughly 77%. But by the same token, workers who are aged 25 to 54 has been shrinking for decades. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. If you have less people paying into Social Security, there's no money on the other end to make payments. It was working out so that the current retiree was drawing money from the current employed individual. Because the tables are topsy-turvy now, there won't be enough workers to pay in for the current folks to continue to receive their benefits. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. I don't know how they figured that they're going to fix it, but we need to have more workers in order to maintain our current level of payments. Here's something interesting. Workers who are age 75 and older are the fastest growing age group for being employed, quadrupling since 1964. Quadrupling. We're living longer. Today's older worker tends to have a higher education. Today's older worker is healthier and is less likely to have a disability. Retirement packages have changed. They've evolved away from a 401k with defined and specific benefits and age restrictions toward a more defined combination plan that does not take early retirement into consideration. Now, I've been checking, doing my research, and I've been reading um, about the plight of the senior worker. Number one, they may not be driving anymore, and jobs at the mall or jobs where you have to drive, where they are not on a bus line, are not conducive to seniors being employed. Um, the Pew Institute, for which I got some information, indicates that the nature of jobs for older Americans has changed. Older workers strongly prefer jobs that entail less strenuous physical activity. They're more suited to being receptionists or greeters at Walmart. Requires standing on your feet quite a bit, but um, those are jobs with less strenuous physical activity. Recent research shows that many occupations, on average, have become more age friendly since 1990. We're reliable, we're dependable, we show up, we come when we're sick. Uh, you don't have to worry about an older worker coming to work and then when they get there, working, actually working. For some older adults who are working, their jobs or career may be different from what they did when they were younger. And that just makes sense. Some even consider themselves retired. Economists often refer to these post retirement jobs as bridge jobs. They bridge the gap between when they were actually employed to where they're now considered retired, but they're actually working. A recent Federal Reserve survey found that 45% of employed older adults consider themselves to be retired. 45%. Retired older workers are much more likely to work part time than their non retired counterparts. And many older workers, about 25%, are receiving income from retirement accounts, pension plans, annuities, and not just Social Security. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projections show that the role of older workers will continue to grow over the next decade. Adults aged 65 and older are projected to be 8.6% of the labor force, those working and those looking for work. And in 2032, that will increase to about 57% of older Americans being in the workforce. 57%. That's a lot. Older Americans are one of the few age groups that are expected to increase their labor force participation rate over the next decade. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that 21% of older adults will be in the labor force in 2032, and that's up from 19% in 2022. Again, all these numbers, it does not take a rocket scientist to figure this out. If we don't get more younger workers coming into the workforce, we won't have the contributions coming in to sustain and support Social Security. It just won't work. It's lopsided. If in fact you are expecting or you would like to work, you know that the retail, restaurants, all of those kinds of industries are always in demand, always looking for workers. But if you're not physically able to stand on your feet or to walk a long distance, you might want to consider something sedentary. Again, like a receptionist, a call taker, person who sits and takes incoming, inbound calls or makes outgoing calls. Insurance is another low physical activity. You get in your vehicle, you go meet your people, you give them a quote, talk to them about their insurance needs, write it up, send it in, and you're off to the races. Um, I don't know that there is much more information that I could give you about employment. You either want to work or you don't. You either have to work or you don't. Um, so that's the dividing line, as far as I can see, for the haves and the have-nots. If you have a decent pension coupled with your Social Security, you might be okay. Certainly, the cost of living has gone through the roof. A loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, a dozen of eggs, everything is more expensive. So do your homework, do your due diligence, and if you are seeking employment, I'm sure you'll be able to find something that suits your needs. If you find this information helpful, please subscribe and share. And remember, you don't know what you don't know. Thanks for listening.